A little bit about delete and update, and like the name suggests, they allow you to remove existing data or update existing data. So delete has a couple of syntax. So first one is delete from table or delete star from table, right? And you got to be careful with that. That might actually remove all the records. Although most databases are configured to stop this and says, "Are you sure you want to do this?" Or like the default is to refuse to do something like this, right? Because it'd be destructive. You can match it up with a where clause where you can identify exactly which records do you want to remove, right? So you can say some columns, so only the records that meet the criteria in the where clause would actually be removed. So here, for instance, we're removing the last record here, Norton Edwards, and they're gone from the table. Here we're removing the we're section ID. We're using not in. Not in is we talked about in. So in allows you to iterate over a set of values, right? And if the value is inside that array of values, then it's true, right? The whole expression evaluates to true, and it's picked as part of the where clause, right? So in this case, we're saying, okay, well, remove all the select statements where the section ID is nowhere to be found in the enrollment table, meaning I have no enrollments, nobody enrolled in that section. Right, then why keep it around? Right, just remove that section. So notice that internally in this parentheses statement, right, we are retrieving a list of section IDs. Right, this is a list of section IDs in the enrollment table. So presumably this is all the section IDs in the enrollment table, all of them. Okay, and it's treated or interpreted by the in operator as an array, right? As a list of items. Yes.
I guess a quick question about the in clause. I guess in my experience, I've noticed that there's usually an upper limit with how many clauses you can have in there. So I guess how does that work if you have like an entire table?
Like if you have a huge, it would take forever to come back, right?
Error out saying that
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Yeah, definitely error out. Yep. Yeah, you'll be perhaps a little more specific in your inner clause of identifying certain records that you want to remove. Yeah. So this one says not in, right? So this can be, as you mentioned, it could be very expensive, right? You have to iterate in the outer where clause, right? You're iterating the section ID over the entire array of elements in there. Yes. Yeah, that would make it better, right? Still, it would be very expensive. It still has to walk the entire table, right? And then determine that it's distinct, right? So it'd still be very, very expensive, right? It has to calculate the distinct. The update statement is like the name suggests. It manipulates data that is already there, records that are already in the table, and allows you to manipulate certain individual fields and say, well, modify these particular columns, these particular fields, and give them these values, but only for the records that meet this criteria. So first, in the where clause, this identifies which records you want to modify, and the set actually does the modification. If you have no where clause, just like the delete, right? You risk either removing all the records, or you risk updating all the records, right? Maybe perhaps that's not what you want. So careful here. So notice here we went back and we finished off Norton, and we added it, and we added the address and the city. So if you forget to put the where clause, now that you'll notice that everybody now lives in Lowell. Right? Another cool thing that you can do here is that you can, in your update statement, right, you can refer to the current values of the current field. Right? So for instance, here, graduation year, somebody switched over between majors, and now they're graduating 1 year later, right? So they kind of lost 1 year. So here we have the set. Notice that it's using on the right-hand side the old value of graduation year to update and calculate the next value of graduation year, right? That's actually one of the limitations in Mongo, right? That in your updates you can't refer to existing values of the same field, right? Which is somewhat limiting. I don't know if the latest version, they might have fixed that already. But that was one of the limiting factors of what, he says, what? I can't refer to fields that already exist?